All right, so we are back on Bootlegged. We've got award-winning musician from the HillBenders and the Get Down Boys, Mark Cassidy, joins the show. Thank you. One person applause.
All right.
I'm sure they're clapping at home. Mark, thanks for joining us. I personally have known Mark for years. We'll just say well over a decade, I would say. Ballpark it somewhere in there. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Los Angeles, Venice Beach right now.
Okay.
In my small apartment here, wondering, how long I'm going to be cooped up in this thing. You see a lot of people out there that have yards and all this other, holding up their fancy cocktail and bitching about it, and I'm sitting here saying I've got about 100 square foot to work with. So
you're like,
at least nobody's challenged me to the push-up challenge or anything like that. So I can kind of be a piece of shit here by myself.
Yeah, I did almost 300 push-ups, hurt my back, and haven't done a single one in a few days. But this is the thing. I was doing that before the push-up challenge even became a thing. Mm-hmm. So that was just amongst me and a few of my really lazy, fat, disgusting friends.
I believe you.
And you know most of those people. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I tried, and my back still really sore. So hopefully it'll be.
Take a few days off, rest. It's doctor's.
Yes. What's the next 4 or 5 months of your touring schedule look like right now?
Pretty much none.
Canceled. Just all wiped off.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are really worried about. Even if we can open up, even if we can do anything, they're worried about if people are wanting to even come out after that, if people are just going to want refunds on their tickets, they're too sketched out on coming out to anything. So I think that everyone's pretty much just kind of chalking up this year as a loss. And I might be a little pessimistic in saying that, but
what? No, never.
We're trying to be as real as possible.
For sure.
I think that everyone's kind of, just kind of preparing for the worst right now, because if people aren't wanting to conglomerate and not wanting to hang out with each other in close proximities and sharing a doobie or anything like that, then, kind of, it'll be a while. This is definitely going to leave a scar on a lot of people, especially live performers. I do see a lot of people out there that are taking advantage of this time and performing live from home, which is really great. There's definitely a high volume of people doing so.
Absolutely.
From people who shouldn't be, and everyone should, I should say that. But
no, I got you.
There's a high volume of people that, a lot of people are trying to take advantage of this time with playing from home and their virtual tip jars and what I've actually done is I've offered lessons to people. If you're stuck at home, you need lessons, you want lessons, we'll figure something out. If you're out of work, we'll work on a sliding scale. If you're just completely out of work and you're poor, I'll just teach you fucking banjo if you want to learn banjo.
Okay, and that's the thing, I guess. My bad as a host. Viewers, Mark's an incredible banjist. Banjist09, actually, on Instagram, social media. Banjist, BANJIST09. I'll probably scroll it at the bottom there. Follow him.
I'm welcoming really anyone. If you want to learn banjo, that's great. I will help you out as much as I can. I would say that it's probably a little more beneficial if you are acquainted with banjo before you take video lessons. So I'm not sitting, a little bit's lost in translation between video when you're trying to teach someone an instrument. So if I'm trying to show you what the nut is or the head is or this and that, it's a little tough to kind of say that over video. But if you got the time, I've got the time.
Right. And in this case, we're not quite sure how big the hourglass is,
Yeah, I think just finding a hobby in general or finding something to do in general is a really great way to spend your time during something like this, because we're not used to this. We should be finding something to occupy us.
Yeah,
you
not
know?
slowly slip into depression, which which I'm very thankful that with your massive surplus of time, you were able to find just a little bit to come on Bootlegged here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very very nice of you.
Yeah,
Now, okay, viewers. So over the years, like initially, I met Mark and the band that he plays with, the HillBenders, circa, let's just say 2008 or 9. At the time, they're just like a hard, just hitting the road hard. That would have been before anyone was probably married, right? Or had kids yet or anything.
Yeah.
So you guys are just, what was that like? I mean, this van is a motel on with wheels on it. I would be the best. Did you guys built a sleeping rack, if I'm not mistaken, in the back of this?
Gravy. Gravy really did put in some work there. You put in the bunk, what we call the Bender bunk.
The Bender bunk, which also housed all the equipment underneath it, correct? You slide that right?
It was very well designed. It was like in the back where a 15-passenger van in the back, it was kind of built on stilts here. On top was where you slept, right, in the Bender bunk. And you could fit, we had a road manager for a little while, RJ. It's his birthday, actually. Happy birthday, RJ.
What's up, RJ? Happy birthday, man. We appreciate everything you do.
Yeah. He was able to, so one of us and RJ, he was a little guy, could fit back there with one of us and somebody else, or one of us and RJ could fit back there. And so we called it a two-man bunk. But mostly, if you slept diagonal, you'd take up the whole thing, right? But I've probably slept. I think I was the probably the easiest sleeper in that van. I could pass out and wake up 10 hours later and not even know that we drove down the road. That's kind of. Gravy sat back there and watched videos and just the whole thing. And for the most part, but everything fit underneath there. So we had all our gear, all our suitcases, everything underneath, and then on top, somebody sleeping.
It was like the first time I saw it, but I remember seeing the bunk in all of its glory. I want to say 2016. It was in Kansas City, maybe 15. And you guys had just opened up for Billy Bob Thornton, who was not getting good reviews from behind the scenes. Apparently some of his handlers and management were a little difficult to work with.
That was St. Louis.
No, it was Kansas City, my friend. Dude, I've got the footage, man. I've got some great footage from everyone just showing back up at the hotel that night, like trying to...
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Trust me, because...
It just goes to show you, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
Well, see, that's the thing. For me, that was a special occasion. For you, that was the second Friday of a long stretch of shows that you had to do.
They're all a special occasion.
It was,
yeah.
But,
that was...
No,
it was kind of rainy that day, too, wasn't it?
Not when I got there, but...
I was just making shit up.
Yeah. I know you guys, I believe you guys played on the street. I actually missed, because I was coming up from, I believe, a float trip. Viewers, some of the members of the band live in Springfield, Missouri, southern Missouri, which is a short drive from Kansas City. So the van had been loaded up, drove up there. I was like, oh, wow. So that's how you hit a bass, couple guitars, dobro, banjo, and everything else perfectly into a van.
And everything had its spot too. Gravy's quite a Tetris champion. Every single time we load up, I just drop all my shit right there at the end of the tailgate, and then just let Gravy take care of it because he just knows exactly where everything's fitting in on there.
Stacked up.
Just let the man do everything. Yeah.
Now, how many miles would you say you've logged, or maybe a better way to look at it is how many states have you not performed in, or something just to kind of paint that picture of the travel.
We have performed in every single state except for North Dakota, Hawaii, Alaska, and I think there's one other one that we haven't. we've been to every state. We've been, what did I say?
Yeah,
North
North
Dakota?
Dakota. Yeah.
I think I meant South Dakota. One of the
Okay.
Dakotas, and I think two island states that we haven't been to, or I
Maybe
guess
Rhode.
lots
We'll
of
say
them. Right? Yeah,
Rhode Island and Hawaii. Those two. We'll say that might be. That's
yeah. Let's just
yeah,
leave
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
two or three.
Um,
But we've been pretty much everywhere,
now over the
uh, and we've logged in a lot of miles. We even rebuilt the engine on the Bender bus, and even logged, hundreds of
more
thousands of
miles in
miles after
addition.
that.
No,
Yeah,
I
that was
remember seeing
ridiculous.
back in the
Yeah.
day a couple times pictures of van being broken down on the side of the road. Gravy's just fixing the problem with like bandanas and wrenches. He's like, "Oh yeah, just someone cut up their jeans and I'll tie this together and we'll be there on time." So
So this is a good time for me to reference the Bender bus again. We stopped on the road. Greg had to like do something or another, like change out the front end or something like that, something gnarly. I didn't wake up the entire time I was on the Bender bunk, asleep. Didn't even know that we were on the side of the road. Didn't know what was going on. I woke up and we were moving again. So it was. If that speaks for anything about the comfortability of the Bender bunk,
look, it delivered time and time again. And look,
or maybe that just speaks as to how good Gravy is at fixing a damn car. I don't know. It's really nice when you're going through Kansas and there's no bumps, there's no turns, there's no nothing. It's pretty much just a snooze cycle all the way through Kansas until you reach Dallas.
would you say nothing but white lines and headlights? Hey, see what I did there? See what I did?
don't know where I should look, but I got to find a woman who will love me and take me far away from those white lines and headlights I see every day.
Yeah.
Lines and headlights right there. No, I actually I dug up a clip from a show you guys played with Keller Williams. You recently started touring with Keller Williams, who I don't know as like I enjoy music. I know when I heard that name over the years, it's been associated with I don't maybe like a mow or a fish or a string cheese incident, or it's that same kind of diehard.
Jam.
Yeah, just real experimental.
Fun. Yeah.
Fun. That's a great way to
Experimental. That's yeah.
very.
Experimental is a good way to put it. Keller does a great thing, man, and he kind of is the OG of a lot of things,
Well, I'm going to run this clip. Just play a second. This is from Indianapolis, last January 2019.
I opted to play with my friends instead of doing a solo thing. I don't know what you expected, but tonight is about Tom Petty and my friends, the HillBenders. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, so as you're playing with Keller, I'm assuming maybe crowd sizes consistently are larger. Now I know you, as with the bands you've worked with in the past, you've played in front of large crowds, but to maybe do that more on a night-to-night basis, or because I know he's had fans that have been following him since the mid '90s. Is that when he kind of,
Oh yeah. I mean, Keller. Once we started playing with Keller, I mean, we've done a lot of festivals. We've done a lot of things with high volume of attendees and stuff. But once we started playing with Keller, there's definitely you can definitely tell that audience size is definitely stepping up. You've definitely got a lot more engaged fans. It's not so much a bluegrass crowd as much as it is a crowd of people that this is their Friday night and they're out there to have fun. They're out there to dance, they're out there to boogie. And And that does a lot to you as a player too, because once you're out there, it's infectious, right? So once you feel that energy, it makes tours so much more fun. It's definitely. And Keller is just such a rad dude, such a stellar Keller dude. He's just got so many great stories, and so many great vibes that he throws out, and so many great ideas with the music, and so it just transforms. You get tired of doing the same thing over and over, and then you get this whole new sort of vibe from touring with Keller, and you get all these new festivals you haven't played yet, and all these new things.
Yeah, I'm sure too.
Makes you feel like a kid again. It makes you feel like you're doing it all over again. When you've been
in entertainment and music yourself, speaking about your own career for a long time, and then now all of a sudden it's like kind of maybe equating it to a weird musical glass ceiling, and now all of a sudden that's kind of opened up. You're like, oh, I didn't realize people could vouch for you like this, or like, oh, that's what it took to meet so and so and shake so and so's hand, or his fans. They show up to see him and they leave like, who the hell are those guys? And those guys are the HillBenders, or in Mark's case, if you're in LA, the Get Down Boys. So plug that again. Real quick. But no, in that, like, that's that energy that I'm assuming you're feeling, right? These people like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and then once you get because you can kind of be a little worried when you go up in front of Keller's fans or all these Jamgrass fans, and we kind of, we've always kind of teetered on the edge there and kind of did this and that. So we were kind of just getting right into it and kind of spreading our wings a little bit on jamming and kind of spreading out arrangements and stuff. And I think that when we were out there, we kind of fell into the groove and just kind of fell into where the crowd was and fell into what was going on, because there's a comfort about a whole bunch of people rallying around you and basically cheering for you. They want you to do as best as you can. You can feel it, and you got Keller out there, and it just all worked really well. And then ever since those first couple of gigs,
start building that own camaraderie.
We're a unit, right? And then we felt, in tune with each other. And yeah, well, we had the Tom Petty stuff, then we started doing Grateful Grass stuff, and then we were, it's just a lot of fun. It's all that stuff is a lot of fun.
Now, music, like, how difficult is that, taking an old song you grew up really enjoy listening to and then transforming that kind of into your own?
I think it's simple. For me, it's simple because the song is already here. Especially a lot of those Tom Petty tunes, they're all very simple tunes, really. Tom Petty said, 3 or 4 chords and then a strong hook and you're golden, right? So it kind of gives a lot of space there to, to use your imagination and make your own sort of melody line over the top, also while using the melody line of the song. And it's fun. It gives a lot of room for your interpretation or your style or whatever. And I love that, because I've never played exactly like any other banjo player or done anything like that. So that's like my favorite thing to do. It's just say, yeah, it's like free range to do whatever you want. So that's my playground right there. I love doing that.
When was the Tommy Grass? When did that? Was that 14?
2016.
Okay. It's so
2016, 2017. Yeah.
It's so great album. The Who's Tommy, with the bluegrass rendition, and that you guys still tour all over the country, and so they're all over the world, correct? And so their band is in this unique position where they'll play like a strictly, Tommy Bluegrass Opry one night, and then, and correct me if I'm wrong, which I know you would do anyway, I hate that saying, then the next night you would go perform, maybe not necessarily across the street, but, an hour away as the HillBenders, and then maybe drop one or two, but definitely not be doing that entire show. And then with the recent passing of Tom Petty, and I know Jimmy Ray, one of the members of the HillBenders, passionate love of Tom Petty, and I don't know if that's where it stemmed from, but I kind of made that assumption. But then you guys started in with the PettyGrass, and how was that? Like how?
We never thought that we were going to be a cover band of any sort. We never dreamed of it. We always kind of were the original music band. That's what we were doing. It's original music. People were going to hear our original music whether they liked it or not. But when this Tommy thing happened, when Louis Meyers, one of the founders of South by Southwest, he was a really great, fantastic dude. It was his idea for Tommy to come about, and when he kind of put it together and kind of gave us this whole new sort of voice, this whole new, performing arts center is where we're playing, doubling money. It's
a grander scale.
Anyway,
it's a little grander scale.
A way grander scale. And definitely we were treated a lot better at the majority of the places we were going.
Now, was he involved in the production? Was he in the studio with
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's, some of my best memories was seeing Louis. It's some of my worst memories, too, when we were blowing it at first. He was just like, you guys suck. And then, yeah, and then so the next day he was sitting back. I remember at the very end when we were getting done with the Tommy album, we finally were getting it, because you're recording all this to 2-inch tape. You don't have time to punch in anything. You don't have anything. You're recording it to this tape, and that tape only has so much play on it to where you can edit or do anything. So, analog for folks out there.
Analog. That's for me. Thank you.
So recording that. So at the very end, listening to you, he's just behind the window there at the studio and just pumping his fist, super amped, and we're just crushing the very end of that fucking tune, and I just remember how just huge that room was at the time. Just the energy in that room, him and Mike Stewart back there, and they're just pumping their fists. They're stoked. They're having a great time. Every one of us had these little baffles between us in the studio, and we're all just got our head bopping. So he's just having the fucking time of our life.
Oh, that was the moment. Like, he put all that together for that single moment right there.
And that was exactly what that's exactly what he wanted. That's exactly what he was, because he wanted to do that for probably 20 years before he found us. So he had this in his mind. He had this in his mind that he wanted to do Tommy, a bluegrass opera, but he wanted to make it Tommy, a bluegrass Opry, or, we may have made that up later on, but he wanted to do this thing, and it was all coming together at that point. And he's just, I'll never forget that moment. That was probably one of the best moments of my life, in my music career, especially.
And he had a lot invested, time and, everyone's time and everything. And then he's
shit ton of money too.
Right. Promote, yeah.
Let's not get out bush here. The guy put a lot of fucking money into that project, in pure hopes that we weren't going to blow it. That's why the first day we were just kind of didn't know what we were doing. We were just kind of pussyfooting around, didn't know what we were doing. And he chewed us out, man. We had to go to the hotel, or I was at a hotel, and all the rest of the guys back to their house, and we all had to kind of stew on that. We had the text between all of us for like, man, we really fucked up there.
we really let this dude down.
So we showed up. So we showed up the next day, and we kicked ass, So
did you know that you would kind of let him, or that wasn't your best? You're like, you knew you could do better? Okay.
Oh okay. Yeah, I mean he is not. He's like me, shy person. He passed away, so he wasn't a shy person. He passed away, unfortunately. Louis is one of my favorite people on the planet, but he passed away. But But he was not a shy person. I always loved that about Louis. He was, if he was pissed off at you, if you were doing something poorly, he'd tell you. And I love that about a person. If they have the balls to be like, hey, this is garbage, I'm wasting money on this, fucking beat it until you can actually do something. And so that's what happened the first day. We didn't do shit. We sucked.
You came ready to play.
He told us, yeah. And the next day, we all knew what we had to do. The next day, we showed up and we kicked ass. So
was that recorded in Austin?
No, it was recorded in Springfield, Missouri. Had a studio there. It's a well-known studio, and Lou Whitney was the guy that owned the studio, and he's like he was in the Skeletons. He's a Springfield legend, right? Lou Whitney is a Springfield legend, and he had passed away just before we were going to record with him, and he was really excited about the project. And then he passed away, and then we got to do the project and got it all done. I guess we were such a pain in the ass to our Lou, right, Louis Meyers. Unfortunately, when we were in Australia playing Tommy, our Lou passed away just after that.
That
so
was
it's just like
I remember seeing South by Southwest creator.
Oh, yeah.
Pass. You know, he was relatively young guy. You know, in the grand scheme of things. You know, he's decades away from geriatric. That's really, for sure. You know, just
yeah.
You know.
And he worked his ass off every day. He did everything 100%. Everything he wanted to do, succeeded immensely, and he was a huge inspiration. He was a banjo player. We traded licks, did that whole thing. He's the reason why Gravy plays steel guitar, so he plays dobro, right? So then he became a lap steel player because Louis gave him a lap steel.
No,
and then everywhere that guy went, he just
that's awesome.
Inspired people.
No,
to
that's
do
great.
Cool.
That's one of the things, you know, in life when you meet people really, like that. That's key to sometimes just shut up and just listen, and you can learn a lot.
What he has to say, you know. And I'd like to think that we seal the deal on one of his life's work, you know, with wanting to do the Tommy thing, Bluegrass, and we kind of made that happen for him.
That deal, you sealed it. I mean, as far as I heard it correctly, you told me you were in Australia just 30 seconds ago.
No.
So
yeah, no, great.
It's that shit is in the mail. It is sealed. That was, and as a fan of the HillBenders and their projects, even previous to that band's name, like it was awesome just to see you guys just get that opportunity, and knowing like musically what you guys were all capable of doing. With studio, and the majority of my basis on that was, the many times that I'd seen you guys live and just continuously kill it show after show, whether it was unplugged or this amp was blown out or just many different variables that I've seen you guys have to deal with. Comedy Store. Actually, you know what? I'll drop that in right now. It's a great clip. This is from the Comedy Store, like 2008 or something like that. And then,
If we had a guitar, we could.
We need no.
Oh wait! The main room's got a piano, right?
Yeah,
the main room's got a piano.
Yeah, main room's got a piano.
Main room's got a piano. Let's do it.
Crazy. Very bizarre. Whatever. This is pretty bizarre. It is.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a sunny day for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the guys. I gave them at the time. I worked at the Comedy Store, and I gave them just a tour back then in whatever 08, 09, whatever year that was. The Comedy Store was dead. most nights of the week. So we had kind of free reign to be like, this is this room, this is the main room, this is.
We even got to see the cocaine room.
Yeah, the cocaine room, the Sam Kinison Coke table, back in the main room.
Yeah.
No, that was great because you guys had done a show down at the Mint on Santa Monica Boulevard, or anyway, Olympic Melrose, somewhere there in Hollywood, and then a friend.
Then we went to.
Yeah, no, a friend of mine, Steve Condon, great guy, director Steve in Nashville, awesome dude. He worked at the House of Blues, so then. You guys did a second show that night at the House of Blues in the Foundation Room, which was awesome. Probably had, I don't know, 40, 50 people there, something like that. But it was
it's great. Yeah.
For me, I loved it, to have friends when they come visit you in that sense, and then have hospitality. Because you guys at that point had been entertaining me for already at least 5 or 6 years, or a long time, dating.
Yeah, then you hook it up with the House of Blues show, and we were
let's do it. In fact, we'll roll a clip of that. That'll be the last video clip, I swear. So here's this, because I know it's up there, and I don't want you guys to have to go look for it. So here that is. Here that is.
What we're trying to do is make bluegrass hip again. So many people who watch our show, they have a tendency to say, I don't even like bluegrass music, but you guys are really cool. Well, you gotta, if you got your own twist on the genre, we're not up here playing all the tunes that started off from the 50s and 60s, these jangly tunes. We're trying to put another edge onto it. So, the bluegrass community versus big city, well, I think hopefully anybody that listens to us might be able to enjoy what they're hearing, because it's bluegrass instrumentation, but it's not necessarily bluegrass music. I mean, it is, but we're trying to put something else onto it. So hopefully that will bridge the gap between a lot of people around the globe. Hopefully, I'd love to get to Europe, love to do anything across this country and more. We're going to Toronto in August, so we're kind of bridging the international gap there. But if we can get across to Europe, that'd be fun too. But bluegrass in the big city, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Last tune off of our debut record, actually, we just put out a couple months ago. This tune is called Midnight Oil. Please leave behind my pain, leave behind my troubles, and fly away.
So yes, that was footage from the House of Blues. That was Midnight Oil, one of my personal favorite songs, when Nolan just belts out like a howling wolf there at the end. Fantastic.
We had our show. It's funny when you're just getting started off as a band. Every show is so important, and every last bit of choreography or anything like that. You got to know exactly what you're doing, song wise. Everything's kind of rehearsed. And it's just funny to think of, at that point, the amount of scheduled, like, okay, at this end, we're going to stop in this part, and Noel's just going to do his voice thing, and then we're going to come back out of it very end.
And then wait till you hear the third stomp, and then you come in. Yeah. Wait till the third. Yeah.
Wait till again. Yeah. And then, what's funny now is we're just so not like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like we want it to be as truthful and as honest as possible, but we don't nearly go through the amount of stops of like, oh, we should do this and stop and then say this, and it's like we just don't.
No,
it's a lot more natural now than it used to be. That's funny to watch a clip like that.
That's what I love about you guys as a band, is there's so much personality, and everyone is able to kind of like show that individually throughout the show. And I don't know you just don't see that a lot. It seems like there's not one spotlight. There's like five, or wait, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 spotlights. Is that right? 5 like, shining down, and that's just because you guys are all individually, so talented. Whether it's like you're doing a solo or Jimmy's doing something, like even the little things, like the way you guys are all real comfortable interacting. And I give it, Gary's a quiet guy historically, but he's also
kind of the glue.
Gary, I love you.
He's kind of the glue on a lot of
behind the scenes. That's what I'm saying. I got a feeling he's like one of those unofficial manager, like final say type of, maybe final say. Gary is your new.
Hammer down Gary. Yeah.
No,
he's well. I think everyone really has a really good role in this group, and it's always been a lot of fun to kind of see, because it's kind of a surprise to all of us. All of a sudden, someone comes out with something. Jimmy has a new song. Nolan has a new song. We kind of have, Gary has always got really good production notes. Gravy, good God, man, the guy's all over the map, right? Yeah. He's got great licks. He's got great. I wish I could show you this tune. That we're not going to release it quite yet, just because.
Is that the song? Is that the song from that I heard live a couple times that I was hammering you about? Like, hey, that's the song. Like, let me do the music video.
Oh.
Is that the song?
No, so we have 2 singles coming out. One is the song you're talking about, "Every Time I Go Away."
That song is incredible. Like it's a hit. I'm just saying, like, it's got that certain look. I'm just saying it's not a traditional what you guys do traditionally, but it's catchy.
Yeah.
It's got the right seasonings of a hit song. That doesn't necessarily make it a legendary song or maybe even your best song, but it sticks in your head when you leave.
I think people will dig it. I think before we're working on it right now.
No pressure to get that out.
I think before the quarantine is done, it will be released. So I think everyone's at home and they need a little bit of music while they're home. So I think we're gonna try to release it before.
Whatever. No pressure. It's just a song that.
It's all your fault.
Like, look, I'll just put it to you this way. I've heard it just maybe 3 times, and it's like it's still with me 10 months later. So that's where. Well, to bring the music back.
John.
What's that?
It's John Tradden.
I like the gems stick with me. That's just the good stuff.
I like it.
Okay, to bring the music back out to the West Coast, present day. You're in Venice Beach right now. I saw you last month and had the time of my life at Bigfoot Lodge West on Venice Boulevard. It's on Venice, right? Or is it Olympic? Yeah, Venice. Okay.
Yep. Every Sunday night at Bigfoot Lodge West.
It's right off the 405 in Venice. If you head, just head east of the 405 on Venice. But great.
To Bigfoot
West, which is on the north side of Venice Boulevard.
In South Palm.
Dude, that's LA. Yeah, that's
welcome to LA.
To directions right there. Incredible scene, packed, amazing music.
I like to think of it as like a sort of a private club in some regards. Everyone can come, by the way, but I just feel as if it's been so word of mouth for so many years, and it'd been going on for years before I joined the band.
And that band being?
We're just the Get Down Boys. Yeah, the Get Down Boys in Los Angeles. Yes. And we are, we've gone through a lot of different lineups, and I joined about 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, probably closer to 4. And they've been playing there for probably 3 or 4 years before I joined. So this has been a long time that there's
Wow.
bluegrass music.
Okay.
Bluegrass music in West LA, and it's just wild to see because we see, I mean, there's people that have been coming there since I've been there every single Sunday. They have not missed a single Sunday, and they bring friends. There's people that come from all over California to see it. There's people that come around, you know, it's wild to see, but it's definitely, we've definitely made a little stamp of bluegrass in Los Angeles. We like to say our motto for this thing is it's a Friday night on a Sunday night. so it's always Sunday, every Sunday night, but we party like it's Friday.
Yeah.
So
no, I was hurting the next day, and there's a food truck right outside.
Taco truck down the road called what is it? Tacos Tamix, Tamix. Best everything, best Mexican food you'll ever watch. It's probably because I'm fucking hammered every time I get done with Bigfoot.
Yeah, but you gotta factor that in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, is this the best tasting water I've ever had?
Hey, to me, it's the best I've ever had.
It's the best one I've had. I hadn't had it, been in the desert for 3 days, parched. No, but with the Corona thing, God, I was trying not to say the word Corona. I'm just sick of all the coverage. But so today, as we're recording this, is opening day. Mark's a huge baseball fan, as am I. We actually both in 2015 saw the Dodgers opening day in San Diego. Kershaw strikes out 15, an incredible game.
Crushing victory.
Dominating, to say the least.
Wait 1 second. Now that we're in baseball mode, we can kind of switch it up here.
There we go. So you grew up in Southern California, in the Los Angeles area. Been a Dodgers fan your whole life. What's your state of baseball fandom right now? Are you anxious? You eager? Are you watching old games? Are you replaying old best of moments? Where are you at right now?
I'm watching 2019, 2018, 2017 highlights frequently. I'm constantly trying to watch live Korean baseball right now, just to watch some sort of baseball. I'm not sure if they're fully on or not, but I've been watching highlights and stuff
Are they
about
replays?
that.
You watching replays of Korean, or is it?
I watch it. Whatever's going on right now, I watch baseball right now.
I gotcha.
So I've been watching, you know, and then they're saying that Korean baseball is opening up too. So they're saying that we might be seeing some live baseball soon.
I mean, I would watch it. I mean, and there's a couple former big leaguers in there, peppered in.
Absolutely. And there's also, you know, I constantly try to play out the 2020 season in my head as to what the Dodgers would be doing right now, because I watch spring ball, and that's kind of split squad, kind of weird stuff going on there. It's not too much of an indicator, but seeing the roster for 2020 Dodgers is giving me a lot of hope. And the Dodgers kind of taking the ship this year,
I mean,
you know, and then of course
you could split.
Dodgers taking the ship this year, Lakers taking the ship this year, and then they just shut the fucking doors.
I mean, you got Mookie Betts. That's like the Sands. Like if we don't play this year, that he's just gone, right? You know, and then Mark. I mean,
they're saying that he might not play a game.
Yeah,
you know,
that hurts. That hurts.
I don't think he'll do it to us. I don't think he'll do it to. I think he wants to. I was kind of wondering about that. Don't these players want to live in Los Angeles? Isn't that the kind of the deal?
I think it's hard when you're making that league. You know, I mean, I think like a Gavin Lux or a Gosselin, some of these prospects. I mean, Lux probably got a big bonus, but you know, if you've got $500,000, like you can't really just comfortably move into LA, and that just sounds ridiculous. But you know, like what for $500,000 you can buy a one-bed.
I make a quarter.
I'm just saying, like what, like versus like, you know what? I'm gonna stay in Plano, Texas, and buy a mansion for $300,000. Look, it's hard to get around in this city. It's not for everybody.
I'm just saying, Mookie, he's coming from the biggest shit smear on the map to Los Angeles.
He's got to love it. He's from Nashville, so he's used to, like, you know, country music fame. Now he's got Hollywood.
I was talking about Boston.
Well, no, I know. I'm just Boston, originally Mookie.
When I say biggest shit smear on the map, just to clarify for all these sport fans out here.
Now, have you had any of your baseball plans?
Are you going to air that?
Yeah, I'll leave that in. I don't care. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, so have you had to cancel any of your baseball plans?
Was it 16, 17, 18? I was supposed to go to Camelback Ranch, and they refunded all my money for that. Got my.
So that's a spring training in Phoenix. If you're not familiar,
spring training,
Dodgers,
and then I got refunded. So they were playing the Royals too. I was gonna meet on the 16th. They were supposed to play the Royals, I think, and then I got opening day money refunded that I paid them a little money for. That's pretty much right behind home plate for opening day. And it's not happening.
Listener, viewer, however you're watching this, again, follow Mark on Instagram at Banjist09.
If you want to learn how to play banjo,
there you go, Banjist09. DM him. Is that the best way? You think? Just throw some get up in those DMs.
Mark Cassidy on Facebook too. Yeah.
If you want to learn banjo from one of the best, that's your guy. You're looking at him right there. But would you want to throw out anything else before we wrap this up?
I just want everyone to hang in there, and all this shit's going to be done pretty soon. Hopefully, if it's not soon, we'll all, have each other's back, and everybody keep their spirits up and stay the fuck inside.
That's the thing. Stay inside. I don't care if you just look. None of us want to be just kind of hanging out in here. This is just me yelling at the guy that was bitching at me at the ATM last couple days ago. He's like, "Are you sick? Do you know anyone that's sick?" I don't know anyone that's sick, and I'm just like, dude. I don't want to be. Just shut up, man. I don't want to hear it from you too. Like, what are you doing? Just.
If I pretend to be sick, will you get the fuck out of my face?
Seriously. But oh man, hey, dude, thanks for coming on this bootleg. I think episode 4 or 5. I'm not even sure, but that's Mark Cassidy, incredible musician. Go see him live whenever that starts happening up again, all over the country, and that's the deal with that.